Hi, this is Ben Harrington from Wrap Digital, and on this week's video blog we're going to be looking at the very basics of how you can get people to visit your website. Okay, so in this week's video we're going to be looking at something called traffic generation, which is basically when you send people to your website, and it's really a critical aspect of any kind of online marketing. If you have a website, no matter how good it is, no one's going to see it unless you have a way of sending people to it. So what today's video does is it sets out some of the options that you've got in terms of how you might, generate traffic for your website. And what I would just say is, if your website isn't any good, if it's old-fashioned, don't do this. You need to get your website sorted first. So this is people who've got, well-built websites. Okay, so the first thing to think about is, who are the people that you want to come to your site? You really don't want people going to your site that aren't going to buy your product or your service. It's a waste of time. It's probably going to be a waste of money. It won't give correct measurements of how your website's performing. So you really need to focus in on who the people are. It's called segmentation. So think about who your ideal client is. Who are they? How old are they? Where do they live? How much money do they have? Are they married? If you're selling to other companies, are they in a particular department? Are they a particular level of seniority? How big is the company? How much does it turn over? All these different things. There's actually another video in my YouTube channel about how to measure who the right customer is, but you really need to focus on that first. If I'm selling, something for people that are over 50, there's no point in sending 20-year-olds to my website. So really focus in on who your client is. Then think about how much you're able and willing to spend, and we'll come on to why that is in a second. But essentially, there's no such thing as free marketing. Even if you're not physically getting out your credit card to pay for something, you are still spending time doing it, and that in itself has a cost if you run your own business. So think about how much you can spend each week or each month. In general terms, the bigger the product, the more expensive the product is. I say product, it might be a service, it might be a solution, whatever it may be. The more options you've got. If you've got a really inexpensive product that you only make a couple of quid on every time you sell it, you're slightly limited with what options you can use. But spend is important, and you want to get what we call ROI, or return on investment. So if you're spending to get a client, essentially, the bigger the product, the more you can spend, really. Okay, so what methods of driving traffic are there? I've kind of categorized these into 4 different areas, and they cover quite a few areas within them, but here are the 4 areas we've got. The first one is social media. Now, you may be familiar with lots of social media, things like Facebook. Loads of people are on Facebook, but there are other forms as well. Twitter and LinkedIn are very good. Something called Google+, which you've probably seen but maybe not heard about, is brilliant for local businesses and smaller businesses. And it's a really good way, if done properly, of attracting people to your website. Now, not every form of social media is suitable for every company. I would argue that each company should be doing a type of social media, simply because one will suit your business no matter what you sell. But having a social media platform is a good route to go down for your business. So look into it. Don't try and do it yourself if you don't know how to do it. Get help from someone that can help you with it, but it will certainly get people to your website if done properly. The second option is what we call PPC, pay per click. Now that basically means when you see an advert and you click on it, there's a cost involved, but the main method for this is normally something called Google AdWords or Bing AdWords. So whenever you look up something on the internet, you'll see an advert normally at the top of the page and also down the side. People pay for those ads to be on there, and when you click on them, the person whose ad that is gets charged a certain amount of money. How much that will be will vary depending on the advert and what it's representing, but essentially that is an option for lots of businesses. I use this, and it gets really specific traffic to my website, so people who are looking for what I do are going to see these ads and be more likely to click on them. So that is a really good option if you can afford to do it. The third option used to be incredibly popular, and it still is, but it's not as perhaps useful as it used to be, and that's what we call SEO, or search engine optimization. And what that means is that you work on your website by adding content to it and connecting people to it via things like social media, Google are going to say, hey, this website's a good one, and we're going to put that further up our rankings when people search for it. So if you look for something on Google, you'll come up with millions of results. The idea is you want to try and get onto page 1 because you're more likely to then have people click on your link to your website. So search engine optimization is a really good way to get your website seen. However, and this is the thing, this used to be able to be performed very efficiently, very quickly, so that you could get your website onto page 1 of Google in a few days. Those days have now gone, and they probably won't come back. This method is a long-term strategy, something you'll need to do over 2 years potentially. Sometimes maybe not that long, but it's going to take months, potentially years for it to work. So absolutely do it. You can do it by things like blogging, but don't expect results from it immediately because it simply won't happen. And then finally, you can do other methods that aren't necessarily online. You can use offline methods. So let's consider things like flyers. It's good to have some physical collateral for your business. So if you're going to a trade show, if you're networking with other people, it might even be something as simple as your business card, or even doing mailings in the post. They do work. A lot of companies, lambast it, but it is a method of getting people to your website. To think about maybe using some offline techniques to try and drive people to your website and get interested in what you're doing. So those are just 4 examples. There are others out there. You could be listed in things like Yellow Pages and that sort of thing, but frankly at the moment these are kind of the ones that are most likely to work. Now that may have left you with a lot more questions than answers, and I appreciate that. This is not that easy a space to work in. So the best thing you can do if you have more questions is don't ignore them, try and find out more about it. So you can contact me and I'll help to answer questions about what traffic generation would work best for your business. My phone number and email address will come up at the end, and if you want to, you can also leave a comment in the box below if you've liked the video. I'd also be really happy for you to share this video with anyone that you think might find it useful, and please get in touch if you need to find out more. Well, I hope that's been useful today. Thanks very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye for now.